Hello everyone, welcome back. Still doing this. I don't mind doing these. These are actually kind of fun. What we're doing today is we are rating the Angling A.I Phantom 3.5 inch core shot mold. This cost, as we always start out with, is $115 on their site. You could get the version that is a non-core shot for $99, but in my opinion, for versatility, you want to get the core shot for the few extra bucks. Right off the bat, let's talk about what it is as far as the pricing per cavity. If you were to divide out that price per 6 cavities, such as this is, you look at only $19 per cavity. That is like probably the lowest price I will ever be able to review as far as a per cavity price. You can't top that. I mean, especially for the quality that you get in this mold. For example, let's talk similar ones. The Epic Bait Molds has I think it's 3.5 inch rocket that they sell, and that's in an 8 cavity. It is not core shot or anything like that, and it's $240. So if you compare that per cavity, that's $30 a cavity. As where this is 19. One of the new guys out there, Hog Salad, he's got a grub similar to it. I don't remember what it's called. It's like a Peric grub or something like that. His is an 8 cavity also for $195. So a little bit cheaper, and that's $24 per cavity. Again, that's also not core shot. This thing being core shot, $115. I can't help but give this a rating of 10 on the cost. I would expect to pay a lot more for a mold like this. So let's look at the design. It is 3.5 inches. It is a 6 cavity. It is core shot, as you see. Comes with the rods. It's got a really nice. It's got little edges on the side. Let me get one of the baits here. There's what the finished bait looks like. It's got the little edges on the side there that kind of look like hearts in a way, and those actually cause it to have a nice little swim action. It's very similar to the Strike King Rage Tail. I mean, essentially that's really what we kind of have here. It is vented extremely well. There are lots of vents on this thing so that you do not have any trouble shooting the bait hardly at all. And it does have what I love, the screws to hold the mold together. So as far as design, we're going to give this thing an 8. Done really well. I can't bump it up much more than that because it's a Rage Tail, really. I mean, that's pretty much what it is, but with the core shot option to it. So I'm going to give the design an 8. Now, as far as versatility, wow. I mean, okay, so first of all, we've got a single, right? Everybody's got the single. That's great. Next, we've got the dual. It laminates with a dual beautifully, as you can see there. I mean, right down the line. A very symmetrical bait, so lamination's not a problem. Next, we got triples. So do triples? Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, look at that. We got look at that. I'm not sure if the camera can zoom in on that, but it does a triple right down to this thin little flipper, whatever you want to call it. Does a beautiful job with triples. Now let's talk about what you would buy it for, which is the core shot. Core shots. There we go. You see, you want to do kind of a clear shell, like you probably all already know if you know anything about clear shots or core shots. So a clear, and then you do a really dark, deep color to run through the center. It does core shots beautifully also. Now, something I don't see a lot of people do, you take it one step further, and you can, after you core shot it, cut the end off right before that vent, before the flipper, and shoot it, and you can actually get different color flippers with the core shot. Now, that's a That is a lot of versatility. Now, not only that, you've probably also seen a video where I will actually put a rattle in there or a light stick or something along those lines, and I will fill it back up during the core shot, and you can actually, sorry about bumping the mic there, and you can actually have that hollowed out where you can throw things in there. Just recently I've started experimenting, haven't had much luck, but I've been using the hollow part back here. I'll fill this part in with plastic, and this part I'll leave hollow, and I've been using that Berkeley Gulp gel, and funny thing is that tube will fit right in the rear end of that thing, and you can juice it right up, and that works really well as far as application, but I have not had any luck catching fish doing that. As far as the light sticks, get a little colder now, so the walleye and the saw guy are going to start moving in a little shallower, hopefully. We're going to get that tried out and see if we can get some video. Versatility. I mean, yeah, it's a 10. This is one of the most versatile baits you can shoot. It's easily a 10. So let's talk about the use. It is pretty easy to use. If you are going to core shot, one thing I will tell you is these rods must be liberally lubricated with worm oil. Do not forget the worm oil. Also, a little safety tip. Even after your first shot, when these things come out and you go to take it off the bait, this is the hottest part of the mold. This will burn your ass. So use gloves or a lot of precaution when you are taking these rods out off your core shot. Something a lot of people don't talk about, but they retain heat. So I'll shoot, when I'm shooting these, I'll do about 320 for the outside, and then when I do the core shot, I will crank the heat up to about 340 to make sure that the plastic's smoothly flowing through that core shot and getting all the way back into the fins. Usually medium speed with a little pressure on the first shot, and then when you do the core shot, you want to go ahead and do about the same, about medium speed, just so that the plastic doesn't start cooling down too quick on you, and then hold it for a little bit for the core shot. This thing, I got some examples actually. Let me see if I can find them here. It will cause issues every once in a while on the end of the flipper, which, well, here's an example. If you look right there, see how that didn't fill? That's actually more common than you would think. Usually it's only on the core shot, so it's something going on with the core shot, not shooting fast enough, maybe not shooting hot enough to fill in all the way, but that is an issue that you could have. The second one is the tails. I'm trying to figure this one out too. Maybe you can see this here. See that bubble? You can get bubbles in the flipper, and that's actually, I find that kind of common. I do see that quite a bit, and I'm still trying to figure out the formula why that's happening, and it usually happens on the very bottom one. So I have to assume that first shot, or when you're shooting it, it's the first thing to get plastic, and there's probably air built up in there and it's not venting enough, or I'm shooting too fast. I'm not sure, but that is common. So it is otherwise pretty simple to use. So I'm actually going to give this a 9 as far as scoring on the use. As far as appeal, it's a good bait. It works as a trailer. It works great as a standalone Carolina rig or Texas rig, all your standard stuff. I mean, you can drag it through the water doing that. It is a different presentation. There are a lot of these on the secondhand market. So what that tells me is people are buying them, and for one reason or another, they're wanting to get rid of them. They're not happy with them for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, I'm probably not going to ever get rid of mine because I do love it. I mean, those are beautiful baits. Maybe because the twist tail does a little more, maybe because people are leaning more towards swim baits these days. I don't know. But the appeal just doesn't seem to be there. I'm not sure how many Angling AI sells. At that cost of $115, I think it'd be very appealing. And maybe that's why there's not a lot on the secondary market. But well, I'm going to give the appeal on this. And I know this is low, but like I say, I see a lot of them out there. Or not a lot of them out there. No, there are a lot. There are a lot on the secondhand market. I don't see a lot of people selling these online or anything. But I'm going to give the appeal on this a 6. I'm rating it as a 6. It's a grub. It's got a different tail, different action. Maybe people, like I say, like that swim bait tail more, or maybe they just like a twist tail more. Not sure, but I'm going to give the appeal a 6. So I don't think that's hurting the score too much on this thing. Overall, I'm giving this thing an 8.6. When you take the score, divide it by 5, which are the 5 categories I like to review them on, it's an 8.6, which I think is actually the highest one I have rated at this point. So the question is, you go out and get this mold? Yeah, absolutely. If this is something that would fit your needs. If you're on the edge about whether or not this is a good mold or not, and you're not sure whether to get it, get it. It's worth the $115. I mean, that is dirt cheap. Like I say, $19 per cavity. You're not going to run across, at least not that I know of, a mold that per cavity is that cheap, let alone you have the ability to core shot it, and it has this much versatility. So if you're on the edge about it, not sure about it, go out, grab it. Don't have any buyer's remorse about it. Don't have any guilt about it. Again, I am not paid by anybody. I do not get discounts from anybody when I do these reviews. This is just an honest, no BS review for those of you that are curious about a mold and don't have anywhere else to look and don't want to hear all the typical YouTubers, oh, this is great, oh, I love this mold so much. Yeah, okay, that's great. You say that about all of them because you're kissing ass. I don't kiss ass. I say it as it is. That's what's gotten me in a lot of trouble at work, a lot of places. But I just speak my mind. I tell the truth. People deserve to know it. Truth is a hard thing to find these days. Anyway, I'm going to end that video. If you have any doubts, don't have any doubts. Run out. Don't run out. Unless you live right next to AI up there in Michigan. But if you are debating this one, get it. You won't be disappointed. Thanks for watching. You don't have to like, don't have to subscribe. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. Thanks for watching, though.